It cannot be overstated that the death of Queen Elizabeth II marks the end of an era in the United Kingdom and around the world. For the people of the United Kingdom especially, in many respects, this is a psychological blow. You have to remember that the Queen had been on the throne for 7 decades. So for many people, most people alive in the United Kingdom, she is the only monarch they have ever known. And that's the same around the world as well. So over the next 2 weeks, we will continue to see scenes like this outside of the Queen's residences, mainly here at Buckingham Palace. So until the time of the Queen's funeral, we can expect to see hundreds of thousands of people paying their respects in whatever way they choose to. The death of the Queen set in motion a highly choreographed series of events that will unfold in the coming days and will be watched around the world. The British Empire had stretched its tentacles to every continent on the planet, and the Queen had remained head of government to some of the biggest nations, including Australia, Canada, and New Zealand. And at the time of her death, the Queen remained the head of the Commonwealth, an association of 56 countries, most of them former British colonies, including Guyana. Though these countries are now sovereign, independent nations, they have chosen to maintain friendship and practical cooperation with the United Kingdom and has accepted the Queen as the head of their association.
In this place, her reign saw 10 different speakers occupy the chair. During her reign, there were 18 general elections, and I'm sure the Prime Minister will remind of us how many of her predecessors she welcomed to, and always, I am sure, with quiet wisdom. As the longest-serving monarch this country has known, she would have been assured of a notable entry in our history books, even were it not for the magnificence in which she undertook the role as Queen, but for a magnificent service, and what a service that entailed. Not just as head of the nation, but head of the Commonwealth, head of the armed forces, and Supreme Governor of the Church of England.
On the death of her father, King George VI, Winston Churchill said the news had stilled the clatter and traffic of 20th century life in many lands. Now, 70 years later, in the tumult of the 21st century, life has paused again. Her late Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II, was one of the greatest leaders the world has ever known. She was the rock on which modern Britain was built. She came to the throne at just 25, in a country that was emerging from the shadow of war. She bequeaths a modern, dynamic nation that has grown and flourished under her reign. The United Kingdom is the great country it is today because of her. The Commonwealth is the family of nations it is today because of her.
The man who had always been known as Prince Charles became king at the death of his mother. He was at her bedside in Scotland when she died on Thursday evening. He returned to London on Friday to give his first speech as King Charles III.
Queen Elizabeth was a life well lived, a promise with destiny kept, and she is mourned most deeply in her passing. That promise of lifelong service I renew to you all today. Alongside the personal grief that all my family are feeling, we also share with so many of you in the United Kingdom, in all the countries where the Queen was head of state, in the Commonwealth and across the world, a deep sense of gratitude for the more than 70 years in which my mother, as Queen, served the people of so many nations. In her life of service, we saw that abiding love of tradition, together with that fearless embrace of progress, which makes us great as nations. The affection, admiration, and respect she inspired became the hallmark of her reign. I pay tribute to my mother's memory, and I honor her life of service. I know that her death brings great sadness to so many of you, and I share that sense of loss beyond measure with you all. As the Queen herself did with such unswerving devotion, I too now solemnly pledge myself, throughout the remaining time God grants me, to uphold the constitutional principles at the heart of our nation. And wherever you may live in the United Kingdom, or in the realms and territories across the world, and whatever may be your background or beliefs, I shall endeavor to serve you with loyalty, respect, and love, as I have throughout my life. On behalf of all my family, I can only offer the most sincere and heartfelt thanks for your condolences and support. They mean more to me than I can ever possibly express. And to my darling Mama, as you begin your last great journey to join my dear late Papa, I want simply to say this: thank you. Thank you for your love and devotion to our family and to the family of nations you have served so diligently all these years. May flights of angels sing thee to thy rest.
There will continue to be a number of events in the coming 2 weeks to celebrate the life of the Queen. Her funeral service will be held here at Westminster Abbey, where she got married and where she was coronated as Queen 7 decades ago. Reporting for the newsroom, I'm Neil Marks in London.